So I'm going to tell you about Shirley Maclaine Parker v. 20th Century Fox Film Corp. So let me set the stage. I'm going to try to see this. It gave you not only the holding, this was a Supreme Court case, but it gave you the opinion. I don't think there was a dissenting opinion, but then there was a blurb about here's the historical significance, and here's how you read this like a feminist. So Shirley Maclaine is obviously a phenomenal icon, and it's my understanding she had a severe mental illness, and so it makes me want to support her even more. And this was at the height of her career. It's 1929. No, wait, that's a different case. 1970. So, picture it. Hollywood. 1970. Actually, it was 1965. She enters a contract to play the female lead. That's a quote. In a movie called Bloomer Girl. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you the context. Bloomer Girl was never made. That's the spoiler alert of the content. Well, so like 20th Century Fox was like, hey, I know you were really excited about this project, but something happened and we're not going to make the film. Really sorry. But she was going to make $750,000 on the film. So they're like, to make things okay between us, it was, they gave her like, to avoid any damage to you, we'll offer you another movie, same compensation, and in fact, almost everything's the same. You had 34 talking points in your original contract. We're gonna like basically cut and paste. They cut and pasted the contract, and they said, only thing that's different is instead of Bloomer Girl, we're gonna have you do a film called Big Country, Big Man. Now, Bloomer Girl, do you know what bloomers are? In cheerleading, we used to call them our underwear, so that you would do a cartwheel and then it would, instead of seeing your underwear, you would see blue underwear. But I guess bloomers were the pants that women wore in the like 1920s or something, and they were like, we're as good as men, girls, gals, we can put on pants too. And it was written by a communist, Bloomer Girl. This is a footnote, gotta read the footnotes. Bloomer Girl was written by a communist, so clearly it was like this leftist, subversive thing, but it was also a musical. It was song and dance that Shirley Maclaine was a brilliant theater actress. Now, Big Country, Big Man is the name of a Western. It was like a Western, a dramatic role. It wasn't a musical, and it took place in Australia, and at like some mine where Shirley Maclaine, the cowgirl, is supporting her man, most likely. It was also never made, so who knows? So what happened was Shirley Maclaine said, no, I'm not making Big Country, Big Man. Just give me my $750,000 and we'll be okay. Because they said, oh, also this contract was such bullshit, because the contract said, we won't be obligated to use your services in connection with Big Country, Big Man. Basically saying we might cast some other girl, but even if we do, we'll give you the money. Also, it took out a clause that she had in her Bloomer Girl contract that said, I approve the screenplay, I approve the director. And this was like, well, there's not enough time. We'll run it by you, of course. But as far as like negotiating, if you say no, and this is also a feminist thing because she doesn't want to make crap. You know, she doesn't want to make a shitty film. And she has no idea. She's being asked to be in this movie when she has no idea if it's even a good movie. And she has no recourse, really, if she doesn't like it. So, basically the argument is that when Shirley Maclaine rejected the studio's substitute offer, they are saying that was an unreasonable refusal to mitigate damages. Because basically what happened is she's going to get $750,000 to do nothing. I mean, it looks like she's doing nothing, but is she doing nothing by refusing to make some sexist Western film that's probably a piece of crap? No. Maybe by doing nothing, she's taking a stand. So they didn't like that. Like, their argument was, this is a fine movie. Just take it. Don't be such a diva. The Supreme Court said, I'm with her. This is a musical by sheer virtue of the circumstance that she was signed up to do a musical and now it's a Western. You can say that this substitute offer was inferior. What's the actual phrase? Something about like it's inferior work, like it's below me. And they went with her and she got the money. Here's a dissenting opinion, okay? And I actually kind of see this guy's point. Acting Chief Justice Sullivan respectfully dissents. The law requires her to make a reasonable effort to secure other employment. Not obliged to seek any and all types of work that might be available. It's got to be in the same field and the same quality. Now, this guy, what's the word where you don't appreciate art? Pugilist? No, that's...
Plebeian.
Plebeian? Is that
No,
it?
it's commoner.
I'm gonna look.
Unsophisticated.
Okay,
commoner.
that's not the word I'm looking for, but like you can tell he's just like a total left-brained dude. He's like this.
He likes the mouth.
Wait, no, this is what my dad. This is my dad would agree with this dissenting opinion. My dad would be like, a movie's a movie. Come on, like what's the difference? It's not an inferior kind. Make the film, make the motion picture, Shirley. But he said, oh, actually his point was not, it is a fine enough substitute. His point was actually just, this isn't a summary judgment kind of case. Because they gave her a summary judgment, which I don't know exactly what that means. But from the context, I think it means like, all right, we don't really need the evidence. We'll just let you have your damages. Rather than like, he's saying there are facts here. It's going to be individual to her. The court needs to just hear those facts. They need to be able to make an argument that this is a different or inferior kind of work. That needs to be, she needs a forum for that. And that's all I'm saying is that she should have a forum. But majority rules, so I guess I'm just writing this down for law students to think about 50 years from now. Now, a feminist interpretation of Parker. Shirley Maclaine Parker. This is a great, there's a great line in here. Would she have been denied damages if she had turned down Bring Time for Hitler. Do you know that reference?
No.
So there's a Broadway musical called The Producers. It's a Mel Brooks, you know how I made you watch Spaceballs?
Yes. Unfortunately.
Mel Brooks of Spaceballs fame also wrote The Producers. And basically the premise of The Producers is that they are trying to make a flop. They're trying to like screw over the investors of this show. So like they make a ridiculously offensive musical, and there's a song in it called Springtime for Hitler. No, the Springtime for Hitler is a song in The Producers, but Springtime for Hitler is the name of the fictional musical that they are producing. Springtime for Hitler and Germany. So it's a very witty reference because that's like the classic, like obviously, like big country, big man. Where do we draw the line? Like, are you gonna just make me do any offensive movie that comes my way? No. And then we go into the bloomers thing. She sought to refuse a role that would have been demeaning to her as a woman. And she was bummed because she wanted to like bring women up. We can wear bloomers, girls. We can have the say. We can have creative say. I'm gonna wear my bloomers. I'm gonna pick my screenwriter. I'm gonna pick my director. And if you don't like it, you can just give me money to do nothing. Readers who identify with Shirley Maclaine because she is a woman will attribute dignity to her conduct. And that's the story of Shirley Maclaine versus 20th Century Fox.